All right, hello and welcome back to the Carl Jackson
Your daily
Show.
dose of objective truth in a world of confusion.
We're going to be talking about that. I'm going to break it
policy,
down.
because their policies are killing people. Very important. We've got to restore sanity in America, and I think it's going to start happening. Let me move on here. All right, let's talk about the WNBA. Let's go to cut number two. Cut number two. Por favor, Gabe. Cut number two.
Here's Cunningham up ahead of the field, lays it in, plus the foul, and then Cunningham gets into the face of Dejanay Carrington right away in the aftermath. And Cunningham has to be separated as both teams will head to their benches.
You'll see a Dejanay Carrington as Sophie Cunningham comes down, gets her right across the face, coming down trying to prevent the layup, but that is just a hard hit. That's definitely going to be upgraded, I think, to a flagrant too, Ryan.
I think that is going to be a flagrant too. There is wind up.
And just getting her out of the way.
Criteria for a flagrant foul.
I'll be stunned if this is not upgraded to a flagrant too.
The defensive foul on Dejanay Carrington has been upgraded to a flagrant foul, penalty 2. Since there's wind-up, impact, and follow-through, high potential for injury, players in a vulnerable position. Since the basket was successful, Sophie Cunningham will receive 2 free throws to make 1.
There's wind-up, there's follow-through, there's potential for injury, the player's in a vulnerable position. And so Dejanay Carrington, who had been off to an incredible start, is now ejected from the game following that hard foul on Sophie Cunningham.
All right, guys, I think that's assault. I really do. I'm not trying to say this to be hyperbolic. I'm not trying to say this to. I think that's assault. That lady intentionally. That's not a foul. That's assault. If that chick wasn't on a basketball court, a professional basketball court, she would be cuffed. As a matter of fact, our attorney general here in Florida said if she had played in Florida, she probably would have been arrested. That wasn't a flagrant foul. Listen, I've played basketball before. No, I wasn't some pro basketball player, but I played enough street ball. I played enough organized ball. Sophie Cunningham had a clear layup. The lady wasn't even going to really stop her if she had fouled her. She was just too far ahead of her. So this lady just cuts her off, jumps up, obviously puts her hand up, and then literally she does like a tomahawk. It was like, what do you call that? A tomahawk chop. I am not a fan of the WNBA, and the more clips that I see, the more that I believe the league needs to be disbanded. I think it's a grievance league. It's a social justice league. I don't think they were ready for prime time whatsoever because they had their club. It was a clique. And they were happy with that. They've been bankrolled by the NBA. I got some numbers for you somewhere here. I got some notes. They've been bankrolled by the NBA forever. And so they can't make it on their own. The NBA still owns 60% of the WNBA, and the NBA needs to do something about it, because not only is it a grievance league, I believe it's a racist league. I believe it's a league that is racist towards whites, and it's provable. I mean, it's racist towards whites. It also has people held prisoner if they don't believe in trans rights, whatever those are. As if there's trans people. There's no such thing as a trans person. You can't transform into another sex. You're either XX or XY. It's as simple as that. That's the way that God created you. If you think something different, I'm not mad at you, but it is a mental disorder. And everyone knew that it was a mental disorder. But it seems like during COVID and post-COVID, all of a sudden it became a moral issue for somebody. Oh, I'm accepting this, and you're not. And now we know post-COVID that much of it was social contagion. Overwhelmingly, people that claimed that they were that they had gender dysphoria, that they were trans, are no longer trans all of a sudden, because it was no longer popular. They were no longer stuck in their house watching TikTok and being hypnotized by this social contagion. Now, we saw that foul. Forgive me. We saw that felony assault by this chick. What's her name? Dejanay Carrington on Sophie Cunningham. Now I want to play you her coach. I want to play you her coach, because her coach threw her under the bus. What cut is her coach? Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Is it 10? Yeah. Okay, let's play cut 10. I'm sorry. Cut 10.
One of the things about Nay is that she's going to play her butt off, man. She's going to compete. Nobody's going to go walking in for a layup. And so I don't oppose the hard foul. But I also don't think that she intentionally went for the net.
That coach is a dork, and she's a liar, and she's a coward. One thing about Nay, didn't call her Dejanay. One thing about Nay. I also noticed something. When that assault occurred, it seemed like that coach walked past Sophie Cunningham towards Nay, as she called her. I hope they don't have something going. But that coach just threw her player under the bus. One thing about Nay, she's going to play hard. She didn't think it was intentional. Nobody's going to go for an easy layup. That's the way she plays. That coach is a straight up coward. She is afraid of her own shadow, and she needs to be fired. She needs to be fired. There is no way I could have somebody like that leading me. I was just assaulted on the court. My mouth is bloody, and my coach is going to side with the person on the other team that just assaulted me. On the other team, period. That lady is totally whacked. She's got some serious problems. I don't know what to do. And you know what's crazy? Here's why Sophie Cunningham is absolutely despised. It's the same reasons, right? That Caitlin Clark is despised. I know a lot. I say that again, Gabe. I know a lot of people were upset with Caitlin Clark because she didn't come out and I feel like she should have, because she's getting bullied anyway. So she may as well come out and say, listen, I don't want men and women's sports. But I think I understand what she's trying to do. I think she's trying to play the Jordan role. And I think she's looking at this long term. Hey, trans people buy sneakers too. But Democrats, liberals, I think she's trying to look at the bigger picture. You know, I personally, I wish she would stand up, though, because I just think you have gotten to a point where this is out of control. It's insane. This is a racist league. The reason why these people hate Sophie Cunningham, she's white, she's pretty, she's straight. She wants women playing in the WNBA. She doesn't want men playing in the WNBA. She wants it to remain a popular a sports league, and she's popular. And these black lesbians can't stand that.
It is finally time for a straightforward assessment of the state of our nation.
What happens when the institutions built to protect liberty are accused of working against it? This weekend, Salem News Channel's America 250 film series presents Government Gangsters. Watch a hard-hitting look at power, corruption, and accountability in modern America. Saturday and Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Salem News Channel.
Well, it's official. I just declared for the 2027 WNBA draft in April. Join me in this journey.
Enes Kanter Freedom decided he's going to throw his hat into the WNBA.
The WNBA does not ban men who identify as women right now from playing in the league.
He would dominate the WNBA without batting an eyelash.
The number one prospect in the history of the WNBA.
I would watch that game. I'm not even messing around. I would watch that game, and the league deserves this. And frankly, he's a hero in my opinion. So is Royce Johnson. I don't think we have a clip of him, but he's also a former NBA player that's willing to get into the WNBA draft or make himself available for the WNBA draft. And I think this needs to happen. Actually, what Sophie Cunningham is doing, by standing up against men pretending to be women playing in the WNBA, is she's saving the WNBA. The ladies in the WNBA, quote unquote, the ladies in the WNBA can't even seem to figure out what the W stands for. So Sophie Cunningham is trying to help them. And now Enes Kanter, I think he's a hero. Enes Kanter Freedom, I think he's doing, people are saying, oh, what is he doing? I've heard sports commentators, he's making a mockery. No, He's making a mockery of this. He's making a mockery of trans. Okay, first off, trans people are mentally disturbed. That's called gender dysphoria. Nobody can be another sex. And Enes Kanter Freedom isn't making a mockery of the WNBA. The WNBA has already made a mockery of themselves. This is the reason why they can't support themselves. They got a cash cow in Caitlin Clark, and they can't stand her because she's white, she's straight, she's getting all the attention that they wish they had gotten. And I understand initially the jealousy, but once your check is triple what it used to be, your viewership is triple, quadruple what it used to be. You're no longer flying, commercial, and now you're in chartered planes, chartered jets. You got to say props to Caitlin Clark. And here's the thing. You take advantage of that. Okay, they started tuning in because of Caitlin Clark, but now they're going to get to see me ball, but they can't do it. And they can't do it because the WNBA is a clique. You know what, Gabe? I should have been saying that. That's the problem with the WNBA. It's a clique. It's not a league. It's a clique for grievance social justice warriors, whether they're black, whether they're lesbian. It is a clique. And if you're straight, if you're white, if you happen to love America, you don't belong in their clique. And that's exactly what it is. All right. So again, this league subsidized by the NBA. It's been subsidized since its inception. The NBA owns 60% of NBA owns 60% of the league. In 2024, you know how much the WNBA lost in 2024? The WNBA lost $40 million. They've lost millions of dollars every year. I think they've been around for 30 years. Every year they've been in business, they've lost money. So it's up to the NBA to subsidize them. The NBA needs to get this under control. There was a great column in the Federalist talking about this, and I totally agree. The NBA needs to get this under control. You can't have a bunch of people playing for your league that just hate white people. And that's what it's become. If you're white, you're straight. If there's a hint of republicanism or conservatism, God forbid, you belong in hell. It seems. I want to play. This was the older one, but this is the first one that broke. This is number 5. I want to make sure that we go to it because I think it's such an important message by Enes Kanter. I played them out of order, but it still works. Cut number 5, please, Gabe.
You know, right now I'm just having a blast in my feminine era. I never thought that I was a woman. You know, I've always trusted the science, and I thought I was a man my entire life. But you know, after further review, strong look at my personal preferences, it would appear that I am indeed sometimes identifying as a transgender woman, and I think it's only fair I get a chance to play with some of my queens here in the twilight of my career, my athletic prime.
Well, and so exactly what you're saying, Royce, is just sort of pulls the curtain back on the lack of clarity in the WNBA's policies under Article 8 of their 2026 collective bargaining agreement. It's simply...
Hey, praise God. Honestly, listen, I don't want men to be in the WNBA, but these men are calling their bluff. And again, they're saving the WNBA. They should be thankful for Caitlin Clark. They should be thankful for Sophie Cunningham. And again, they can't stand Sophie Cunningham. They can't stand Caitlin Clark because you got a bunch of black lesbians balling. And they didn't get the attention that they felt like they deserved. Now these 2 white chicks come in the league, and all of a sudden, especially Caitlin Clark, the league blows up, viewership blows up, and they're like, hey, I'm better than her, so on, etc. They're just catty. They're just jealous. It's insane. But Royce Johnson and Enes Kanter equally, in my opinion, are doing a great service to the WNBA by calling their bluff, because now there's been a meeting set where they're going to try to figure out what the W means. All they have to do is follow the lead of the Women's Tennis Association. This is cut number 13. You guys may have heard Coco Gauff. Everybody was praising Coco Gauff. I didn't even think this answer was that solid, but I'll take it. Coco Gauff, number 13, please, Gabe.
Hi, Coco. The WTA recently said it's going to give gender tests to the players on tour. What's your impression of that? What do you feel about it? And what did the WTA do to prepare you guys for what's to come on that?
Yeah, I mean, as far as, I guess, with that, I mean, I know it's been something that's been talked about a while, but I've talked to a couple other players, and a lot of them didn't find out until the press release. So I do think that's something that could have been more transparent amongst like players across the tour. As far as that, I mean, I understand the reasoning behind it. I do think that this kind of conversation has created a lot of animosity towards the trans community, which I'm not really a big fan of, but I also understand the need to, I guess, the biological difference and the need to protect that and preserve that. So I think it's a conversation that is very nuanced, and it creates causes, or I need to have a nuanced answer. So yes, I guess kind of agree with trying to protect the fairness in women's sports, but I also do not like the attack that it is creating people who don't really care but just want to use this as a reason to attack the trans community. So I'm not really a big fan of that either. So I don't really know how to answer really this question in a way that people aren't going to spin it. But as far as where I stand, I definitely support the trans community, but I also support the need of creating fairness in sport too.
That's all the WNBA has to say. And by the way, let me say, nobody's attacking the trans community. There isn't. I can't believe those words just come out of my mouth. But nobody are attacking people that are genuinely trans. All right, that suffer with gender dysphoria. That isn't happening. What they're doing is shining a spotlight on the WNBA. The WNBA could save their brand. They could save their league by saying exactly what Coco Gauff just said at the very end of that clip. All the WNBA has to say to save themselves is, we respect the trans community. We're not attacking the trans community, whatever. We love them, but we see the need to have a sport or to have a league that specifically deals with biological women. Done. Absolutely done. I mean, this is just insane to me how long this has been allowed to fester. And that's why I say Enes Kanter, he's a hero. Royce Johnson, he's a hero. These men are forcing the WNBA to make a decision because, guys, I mean, we've seen I haven't even watched a video. I've seen a clip, I think, of the guy suffering from gender dysphoria playing in France that is just dominating out there the games where he's constantly scoring 20 plus points, getting 20 plus rebounds like it's easy. It's nothing, unstoppable. The guy is cut like nobody's business. These women would get hurt. These women would look silly if men got in the league. You have Clay Travis out there offering $10 million for a high school team of his choosing to play against the champions of the WNBA. The WNBA ladies will get slaughtered. The WNBA ladies will get slaughtered. And guys, it's not a slight to them. It's one of the reasons why I could never get into the WNBA, because I used to play a lot of basketball, and I was decent. I was just playing street, but I was decent and a little organized. But every time I didn't see the WNBA, but even college girls, I appreciated the skills, the handles, and all that kind of stuff. But as a man, you look at that and I'm like, with a little practice, I think I could beat their best. Not with the NBA, right? I'd get dominated, just like women would get dominated with NBA players. It's just a different thing because men and women are different. It's that simple. But instead of trying to attack and take the head off of a Sophie Cunningham, that Dejanay chick should be thanking her because she's saving her league. She's saving her paycheck, for God's sakes. All right, guys, I wanted to get into Fauci. I'm going to get back into that tomorrow. I want to, there's some things I wanted to cover that I'm just not going to be able to this evening. So I appreciate you tuning in to the Carl Jackson show, but I will be talking about Fauci. I really want to dive into that. The whole Fauci thing, the whole jab thing and the miscarriage. I think it's an extremely important story. And I also think it's more evidence how the left is willing to depopulate the United States of America. And that is really scary to me. That was really, really evil to know that information. I mean, I'm just speechless. I really am speechless. Anyway, until next time, guys, don't grow weary doing good. God bless you.